The single most important step in reaching your goals is to know where you're starting from. A map is useless without knowing both the destination and where you are starting. For many of us, the most difficult thing we ever do is face reality. It's often painful to tell yourself the truth about yourself. How many lies have you told your wife at home about why your income is down this quarter? The customer's finances fell through, or your manager dropped the ball, or a list of all the other excuses you have for why you didn't destroy your quota this period, and now that you have to dip into savings to pay your mortgage. You tell your coworkers that the leads are weak, the calls are rigged, the market has simply changed. You blame your least favorite politicians because, of course, it's all their fault the country is in this mess, and that's why you lost the sale. These factors may or may not be true, but most of them, if we're being truly honest with ourselves, they're only a factor, not the reason. Honest self assessment is the difference between knowing what is a reason and what is an excuse. Reasons for not reaching your goals are limited only to the things that are not changeable by your own efforts or execution. Reasons are the things that are exclusively outside of your control. It's that simple. If you could have changed the results but didn't, that's an excuse. If there was no way the outcome could have been different, no matter what you would have done or could have done, that's a reason. Some clients won't qualify for your product. Maybe it's incompatible with their computer systems. Maybe the half-ton truck you're showing them won't tow their 40-foot RV and you don't have a way to get one for them that will. Some customers can't pay you, can't get board approval, can't move forward, or can't get financed. Sometimes your product may be out of season, grossly overpriced, or obsolete. You will not sell ice to penguins, and you aren't going to sell sand in the desert. Horse and buggy salespeople went away when the cars took over, and when is the last time you bought a typewriter? Those are reasons. Excuses are things like customers are getting meaner, our prices are too high, the leads have fallen off, the competition is better than us, nobody has money anymore, your least favorite political party is ruining the country, etc. Those all may be valid points. Your job, however, as a sales rock star, is to make sales when things are hard, not when they're easy. Allowing yourself to entertain your own excuses is the most cowardly form of self-sabotage a salesperson can do to themselves. Imagine getting bullied in school, getting told you aren't good enough, aren't strong enough, are destined to failure. And then imagine that that bully is yourself. When you entertain excuses, you are telling yourself that you aren't good enough, that it's okay that you are failing. You're telling yourself that failure is your natural state and you should be comfortable right there in your own safe space where failure is not just okay, but encouraged. So why do you do it? Because telling yourself excuses in the short term feels better than admitting that you could have done more but didn't. That short term satisfaction of saying, I would have gotten the sale if only, or I would have hit my quota if my leads weren't shit, the company lowered their price, my competitors weren't playing unfairly, or my customers weren't all giant dumbasses. Admit it, you have said some variation of every one of those and more. Your coworkers have said them, and maybe even to you to comfort you when you lost a sale. And while it feels better to be told you did everything right, you would have gotten that sale if only the customer wasn't stupid. Allowing yourself to think that way sets you up for defeat in the next sales opportunity because somewhere along the line, once you've trained yourself to accept failure, you'll be okay with failure. You'll prejudge your customers, prejudge your chance of success, won't push quite as hard for the sale, and will take shortcuts along the way. All of these things push you inevitably towards the self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. Be honest with yourself, but not hard on yourself. Beating yourself up is counterproductive to success. Instead, simply be honest and impartial with yourself. When you lose the sale or miss your quota, simply examine your process, examine your numbers, replay every interaction in your head, review all of your communications with the clients, do a full post-mortem on it to accurately and honestly assess where it went wrong. What you want to look for is not places to beat yourself up, but places where you can improve. Often, what you'll find is there were several places that you could have changed the outcome along the way. Did you perform an effective discovery process? Were you pitching to the true decision maker? Were you focusing on things that were valuable to your customer? Could you have found out that they didn't qualify more quickly? Was there a better way that you could have anticipated or overcome that objection that killed the sale? Basically, is there anything that you can learn from losing that sale that will help you not lose 10 more in the future? Most importantly, this step is difficult. We are all flawed human beings, scarred by a lifetime of criticism from our parents, teachers, friends, bullies, bosses, and customers. Admitting we are wrong without feeling like we are attacking ourselves is not a life skill we possess naturally, but for salespersons, becoming immune to rejection, criticism, anger, pressures, and self assessment are crucial if you want not just to survive in the long term, but succeed. This is a skill we must master. Now that we have established why you need to be honest with yourself, let's take a few minutes and do a short self assessment. How well do you know your current sales numbers? The first step in optimizing your income as a salesperson is knowing your numbers, and the most importantly, being honest with yourself about your numbers. For example, if you ask 100 salespeople who are expected to cold call how many phone calls they make on a daily basis, 60% of them will quickly say something like, I make 100 cold calls a day. The other 40% will be split between three camps. 10% will have no idea how many calls they make and don't even care. 20% will give a reasonably round numbers estimate, and 10% will know exactly how many calls they make in a day, week, month, and year, along with a series of additional metrics like calls to appointment percentage, sales rate, etc., etc. Each tie a dollar value to each outbound call. I'll let you guess which group tends to be the lowest performers, the average and above average and rock star groups. Average and below average salespeople tend to lie about numbers, lie to their managers, lie to the CRM, and lie to themselves. They may work for a company that requires a certain activity to be logged. They may want to have a paper trail that makes it look like they are making the efforts they need to make. But more often, that call you logged in the CRM was a button you clicked to make the to-do go away. And you logged a quick, hello, I am just checking in. Is now a good time? No? Okay. Even if you technically made the call, you didn't do it right. It is a lie. Okay, I know you're pissed at me right now, aren't you? I caught you, didn't I? How did John know that I do that sometimes? I mean, I did it once, maybe a few times at the end of my week when my call numbers are low and my manager will check on them. And if they aren't up, I could get put on a PIP. So when I asked you how many calls you made, did you include the calls you made just to hit a call target? Or did you include only the real calls that you made? The calls you made when you were trying to actually reach your customer. The calls you made where you were trying to provide value, set an appointment, do real discovery. Or did you include the ones you made at 4:58 p.m. on a Friday night when you knew damn well all of your customers were out of the office so you could log an extra 40 calls in the CRM in 15 minutes to keep your manager off your back after wasting half of your week? I believe anyone can lie. You can lie, I can lie, your kids lie to you every day. Your parents told you Santa was real when you were 3. Everyone is a born liar. But the one thing that never lies is the numbers. When you're a salesperson, the one universal truth is that your numbers will never lie. They will sometimes tell you a story that you don't want to hear, but they will never lie as long as you listen to what they say. The 10% of that group who knows exactly what their numbers are aren't counting the bullshit calls. They know their numbers and report them to themselves and their managers honestly because their numbers are important to them personally. They know their activity drives their income. They know that the numbers because the numbers protect them from failure and ensure their success. The other 90%, even if they kind of know their numbers, they estimate their numbers, guess at them, or don't care at all, their numbers are useless and they're lying to the CRM, lying to their managers, lying to their loved ones, and lying to themselves. Hiding behind the grind, hiding behind excuses, hiding behind their own insecurities, and most importantly, wasting a lot of time and money. So what are your numbers now? Total units sold, total revenue, gross margin, commissions earned, total paycheck, calls made, calls answered, door knocked, sales closing rate per lead from each source of your leads come from. Now, what do those numbers look like today, this week, this month, this quarter, this year, and last year? How do your numbers compare to what they looked like last year? How do these numbers trend over the same periods of time? How do they compare to the bottom, middle, and top salesperson in your office or company? If you don't track those numbers, you don't know where to get them. Are they available in your company's intranet, from your supervisor, from your CRM? Find a way to get these numbers and track them every week until you know exactly where you rank in every trackable metric relevant to your company. If there's no automated way to track them, do you track them yourself in a spreadsheet or even in a notebook? Doesn't matter how you track them, it's important that you track them. Ultimately, it's your own responsibility and for your own benefit. Your numbers will tell you what the top people achieve that you aren't and give you the starting point on your journey to overtake their positions at the top of the food chain. It won't tell you how to get there, but it will at least quantify the differences in black and white. Most importantly, knowing your numbers allows you to test changes you make in your marketing, sales process, objection handling routines, closing questions, discovery questions, pricing, negotiation, and product delivery to see which factors impact your own numbers. The numbers you track will be specific to your situation, so think hard about the numbers you can track that will have the greatest impact on your results. The SWOT analysis. One of the most effective techniques in business planning is the SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. A SWOT is a fundamental format taught in every business school to teach management how to optimize an organization for success. If you are a small business owner, it's important to do these on an ongoing basis in order to keep your company on a healthy path, direct it towards growth, and protect it from outside forces that threaten it. Similarly, for a salesperson, a self SWOT analysis is a great way to help you find the areas of greatest opportunity in your career. Take advantage of the numbers that you gathered and use them to build an accurate picture in your SWOT. A SWOT is usually presented in a four-square format where you can quickly mind map and organize factors that affect your organization or your career. We can adapt it for many situations, and it is a very efficient way to help you self assess. Typically, we want to fill out at least 3 items for each square and put as many as you can think of. Internal factors. Strengths. What are you best at? What parts of your job do you excel? Do you make more calls than your coworkers? Do you have a higher conversion rate, cross sell better, have better margins, a larger natural network, a better Rolodex, a better knowledge of social media marketing, SEO? Are you better looking than your peers? Have a connection that can provide you with additional leads? Does your sales rate need improvement? Are you not getting referrals at the same rate as your peers? Are you not getting past the gatekeepers, not hitting your quotas, not adding add on products? Or are you selling at a lower margin than the top producers in your firm? Do you know someone from your natural network who can refer business? Do you have additional time to make additional calls? Can you work through lunch more often? Get additional training? Shadow a top performer to get their advice? Can you do your own marketing and develop your own leads? Are you under a PIP? Is your company losing market share? Is your company's product or service becoming obsolete? Do you have a physical impairment that prevents you from performing at the same level as the top dog? Threats come in many shapes and sizes, and it's important to be honest about them and only list reasons as threats, not your excuses. Now make your own personal SWOT. There are many templates available online, or simply use a notepad. When finished, it should look something like the one in the book. Now, we know where you are starting from and we know what your SWOTs are. The next step is to set some realistic goals and build a solid plan of action to get there.